back at where we've kind of come then. So as a council, just to give a bit of context, if we go back sort of 5 years ago, we didn't have a digital team at all. We were literally just we relied on our ICT resource to deliver much of the digital solutions that we were looking at. It was identified that we needed a digital team, and that digital team actually came out of the slimming down of our customer services department. And the idea, a bit of a big risk really, was that ultimately, by taking resource out of customer services and developing those front door digital solutions and self-service solutions, that we'd actually recoup that saving anyway, and it's paid off, thankfully. So that was back in September 2018 under review, and a digital team was generated. In January 2020, well, I said we procured GOS in January 2020. It was a bit of, as anybody will know on this call, a bit of a long-winded process, picking suppliers and understanding what was the best for our needs. But we settled on GOS, which has turned into one of the best decisions that we've ever made in my mind. So that is our customer development platform, which we use for all sorts, which we'll talk about as I go through. So then in March, we procured our omni-channel contact centre solution, and there was a real caveat around that we needed it to be able to integrate with the GOS platform, which we've done successfully. Then in March 2020, literally off the back of training, COVID hit, and we used GOS to really rapidly deploy some COVID solutions, which I'm sure, again, any council on the call will have done. But I think the point I'm trying to get across here is, we were probably a couple of weeks out of training, but we're really able to rapidly develop these solutions, which I think shows the real benefit of that low-code platform and actually just how easy it was for us to pick up. Don't get me wrong, we had a lot of support in that, both from GOS and our central team, our ICT developers, who were the heavyweight behind us really, and the real core developers within our team and within our service. So in September 2020, we launched the contact centre solution, and the integrations in that were things like pause and starting recordings of calls, which was done through a GOS endpoint, but you're really using GOS front end solutions to create job queues in the back end of our omnichannel contact center solution. So in the same way that you would log that you have spoke to a customer online, we were able to log that, spoke to a customer over the phone, we were able to log that we'd spoke to a customer online as well, and that went into the GOS CRM. Then in March 2022, we launched the new SBC website, which was just a massive piece of work. We took a very structured approach to that. We needed, the reason that we were redeveloping the internet was because we got collared by Cabinet Office for not meeting WCAG accessibility compliance, and actually the work that would have been involved in getting our website up to WCAG compliance meant that we were better off just redeveloping it. So we made a bit of a deal with Cabinet Office and said, can you give us a bit more time? And we were allowed that time, which allowed us to do that. Within the development of that, we developed 160 self-service solutions and a full front door for licensing. As a result of that full front door for licensing, we were able to reduce again the number of FTE in customer services, and customer services from that point actually didn't serve our licensing department. Everything was done online, which is just a massive win really in terms of what we could do. We developed that very much around GDS standards. We developed it so it met WCAG, so therefore switching over a lot of PDF content and inaccessible content over to web content, which GOS lent its hands to and made it very, very easy to do through things like our document templates and stuff like that in terms of removing policies from there. And I'm very happy to say that we are now 99.8% compliant with WCAG. Evie's going to talk a bit more about our websites later, but Evie's put a lot of work into that and is a true expert in that area of work as well. So that was the website launch. Then we went on to CRM go live. So we very quickly after launching the website, launched our CRM. It was approximately a 6-week gap, so it was another really sort of high-paced project, and again testament to how the being able to develop in low code, but also the reusable elements that we've been able to use from GOS. So because they're both on the same platform, different URLs for access, obviously, but we discovered that actually customer service officers were given the same information that we were given on the internet. So therefore, why are we developing extra articles for that? We might as well just bring that information over. And actually, in the same sense of where we've developed all of our online self-service solutions, solution. So as part of the website launch, we looked at full end-to-end service redesign, no PDFs for applications or anything like that, all GOS solutions for applications. If we're developing them to be acceptable for a customer to use, they're acceptable for our customer service officers to use as well. So being able to realign that meant that we could very, very quickly and rapidly deploy our CRM too. That generated a saving of 33,000 per annum for the council, which is brilliant, contributing towards our medium-term financial plan. It gave us a single view of the customer. So again, whether you were transacting online or you were transacting over the phone or in contact centres with us, we've actually got all that information now in one place. I should probably note that as part of the SBC website launch, we also launched our My Council account too, so that people could track those transactions with us as well, which linked into the one customer account. Then in November 2023, we launched our web chat. That was on the back of our omni-channel contact centre solution, but we were able to really seamlessly integrate that into the GOS platform. Moving on to our next big project, that was SID. So really, when we procured GOS, we had 3 big projects in mind: decommissioning our legacy CRM, the new website, and SID as well, so the Stockton Information Directory. So a lot of people on the call are probably aware we've got a legislative requirement to have an information directory, and we decided to bring that over into GOS as well. So GOS ultimately is our customer development platform. We've took a corporate-wide approach to it, agreed by CMT, that websites, anything website related that could be developed should be developed in GOS to consolidate some of those systems. So through doing that, we also identified that we needed an early years directory and a SEND sub-site, and through bringing that into GOS, Evie's going to show the website in a little bit as well, so you get a bit of a look at it. We generated savings of approximately 72,000 per annum. So at that point, we're looking at GOS and thinking, well, it's sort of paying for itself now. It's not costing us anything additional in terms of our costs around it. And again, meeting WCAG, that says 2.1, ignore that, I'll change that after this, 2.2 to 99.8%. And I believe we are in Silktide's top table at the minute as well, which is what we always aim for. Fantastic. So just to give you a bit of an idea on the services that we've touched on with GOS, so we've at the beginning there, and the stuff that I've talked about is very much focused around our customer service functions, things that our customer service services that our customer services serve. But actually, through the developments that we've had so far, we've literally touched on pretty much every single council service. So I'm happy to share these slides afterwards, but I wanted to put this up as a bit of a inventory of our work, but a top level inventory of our work. And I think again, one of the benefits of working with GOS is this openness to sharing and working collaboratively with others. So if there's anything in here that you're working on, please feel free to get in touch with us, because it could be that we've already done quite a lot of work in the background, and we might be able to share some of that with you. So looking into 2024 and 2025, because I've had out of space on my last screen of my map, so talking about some of the other stuff we've done. We've implemented the reporting server. We found that we were really struggling with the performance of our platform, purely because, and rightly so, we were querying live data ultimately. So we went down the route of procuring the reporting server. That has been an absolute game changer, but the caveat that I would put around that is that we've needed significant input from our ICT developers. So again, those real heavyweight developers that we're not talking low code developers here. We're talking the big kahunas, I suppose, is what I would call them in that. So we've implemented that, and Lynn's going to actually show some Power BI reports that we've managed to get out of that as a result of the implementation of the reporting server. But that has been an absolute game changer for us. We've implemented a garden waste solution, so we've managed to implement a federated login with our Bartech system. The solution for garden waste is very, very tailored towards it, and to develop that in GOS it wouldn't have been worth the development time ultimately. So we've procured a system, but we are looking at a one council approach, a one view of the council. So for me, it's very much about whether you're transacting with us for revs and bends, whether you're transacting with us for a garden to order a bin, or anything that you're transacting with us with. We need to look like we're one council, and our approach to that is federated logins. So some real great work around that as well. Ally implementation, which I'm not going to touch on because Kaylee's on the call is going to show you through that in a bit. it, and we've launched and I'm in development of multiple websites and solutions. So SDR 200, which is a celebrating 200 years of the Stockton-on-Tees Railway, and there's loads of events and stuff on. So go and have a look at that website because it's actually one of our favourites. Because and Sarah's smiling because we you know working in the corporate world, you're quite often restricted to what you can do in terms of branding. But this one gave us that little bit more space, and we've really enjoyed working on that one. North East Public Protection Partnership, JSNA, which we're implementing embedding of Power BI reports. So that's our joint strategy needs assessment, and it's very data heavy. So we've took a Power BI route to that, and the Preston Park Museum website, which is going to be integrating with their booking system as well. So drawing events into GOS, again, looking for that one customer view. We've done some work on public health outbreak recording, and we're currently working on redeveloping our intranet. And again, we'll follow that same route of, the same sort of user experience and custom design. A lot of work goes into things like user journey mapping and all that sort of stuff in the background. Bringing that over into the GOS platform, and we'll be looking again at those reusable elements, i.e. we don't want to redevelop the internet. If we're sharing information across both, let's use them in one location. Added benefit of, you're not updating two places, you're updating one to update many. We're working on digitalisation of our full fleet service completely in GOS, so all solutions will be in the GOS platform for that one, and we are looking at street bins as well, which probably isn't the most interesting of subjects, but to note on that, we're looking at some potential integrations with Internet of Things, so bin sensors ultimately that will detect how full or the condition of a bin and report that back, which will allow us to do better route planning. At the minute, we've got a fairly archaic way of doing things where there's set routes that people go around, but there's no way of knowing whether that bin's full or empty, so we're probably just wasting people's time quite a lot of the time, and this will actually allow us to develop routes the day before so we can make sure that everything's up to date and done. We've implemented over the years numerous booking solutions based on the core booking system available within GOS, Preston Park events, family hubs, staff and wellbeing sessions, flu vaccinations, employee health checks are both internal and external, and ranging, some that have got maybe 2 or 3 occurrences, some that are, allowing thousands of tickets to be bought, and it stood the test of time, and it stood the test of that being able to deal with that sort of capacity as well and load on the system. We're doing some work at the minute on bus pass portal integration with SAM. So we've been working with these providers for a very, very long time, but the system ultimately isn't performing how we want it and need it to perform. So we have got the okay to develop that full end-to-end process in GOS, because we believe we can give a better customer experience that way, but with an integration to the portal to be able to do the automatic generation of the bus passes ultimately. We've done Aptian integrations, which is our I think I'm going to say this wrong here, but it's our information governance system, and I'm looking to Lynn, she's nodding at me, so I'm right. We've done highway licenses, selective licensing, SendGrid integrations, which is our comms package, so the ability to send out emails. So when people are signed up for an account, they get asked if they want to sign up to our newsletter, and we can control all of that through our integration with SendGrid. I've got selective licensing on twice there. Apologies, folks. I'll remove that also afterwards. And then looking at in the future some AI stuff with GOS as well. So we're very, very keen on have a look back at some of the demos that Andy's done, because they've just been fantastic, really, and showing some of the things that are coming in the future and that I think is going to revolutionise and change how we work ultimately in AI image detection. So that's the stuff around being able to take an image of a fly tip and detect what is actually in that fly tip, how big that fly tip is, and if there's any evidence in there. We're hopeful to use it in things like blue badge applications, so understanding a PIP letter and what the PIP score is on it, which at the minute is very much a manual process in the back end. So and we get quite a lot of applications on that. So there's some real potential cost benefit savings in that. Content stuff. So we've literally just got our hands on some content stuff that will hopefully help us in terms of meeting accessibility criteria, bringing reading age down, but doing some of that automatically and automated. And then search functionality, which is the bit that I'm particularly excited about, which is around AI search results in our web pages. And I think if we're being revolutionary and thinking about the future, maybe not even revolutionary, but just thinking about the future, that is the future of websites for me. We won't have these static navigations. We'll have AI searches which will help people find what they need instantly. So that's kind of where we are and what we're working on, as a bit of an overview. So that leaves us with, we've got over 400 solutions in 4 years developed within GOS, on the customer development platform. We've got on that, every solution that we've developed has got a feedback loop, so a feedback form at the end, which we, as a management team, look at monthly and see where we can improve our solutions and systems. We do design to GDS standards, so things like one question per page, which helps people to understand better what we're asking of them, and lots of other stuff involved in that. And we're currently at 92% customer satisfaction for our online front door services, which is just brilliant. But we will keep striving for that 100%. I know there's quite a lot of the team on the call, so we'll keep pushing, guys. We've got integrations with multiple systems. I've talked about some of them there, but Alloy, Flare, NHS information, literally just loads and loads and loads of integrations that we've got in there. Again, some kudos there for our ICT development team as well, who've helped us a lot with that. We've got over 61,000 My Council accounts, and we've worked out that approximately 65% of our households in the borough have at least one account, which we're really impressed with and really proud of for something that's only been launched for 3 years. We've obviously implemented the reporting server, which I've talked about, and we've implemented federated logins as well into the system. So where does that leave us? A bit blurry the screen, but bear with me. So when we first procured the GOS platform back here in 2020 to 2021, we were looking at 55% of our transactions being manual and 45% being digital. We're now at a point where 68% of our transactions are done digitally, and obviously that's helped us. I think we've all probably seen an increase in demand for services, so the number of contacts has also increased, but this has certainly helped us to handle and deal with that better. I'm not going to bleat on too much about My Council because Lynn's going to show us a little bit of this in a minute. But again, just a really quick overview of it. We've got some information in there. 96% of My Council account holders are residents of Stockton. We don't limit to just Stockton people, because it might be that you want to come on and transact for your family. And like I said, my numbers are wrong on here because I've just updated it this morning. But 65% of households in the borough have at least one My Council account.